Hey everyone, I'm Samantha and I'm back for another week of story time with Growing Home Southeast. If you're new here and unfamiliar with Growing Home Southeast, we're a nonprofit headquartered in Casey, South Carolina. We serve families in both South Carolina and Alabama with foster care, adoptions, and other community-based related services. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about us or interested in becoming a foster parent, go ahead and visit our website at www.growinghomese.com. Let's get started with story time. This week, we're reading Two Good Friends by Judy Delton. Be sure to stick around right after the video for some questions that you can answer with your family. Let's get started. Two Good Friends by Judy Delton. Duck had cleaned his house. All his floors were waxed. All his furniture was polished. He was admiring his clean rooms when he heard a knock at the door. It was Bear. "Come in," said Duck, "but first wipe your feet on the mat." Bear wiped his feet on the mat and went inside. "Make yourself at home," said Duck. "Thank you, I will," said Bear, and he sat down in a shiny rocking chair. Then he put his feet on Duck's table. Duck reached for a newspaper and put it under Bear's feet. "What do you have to eat?" asked Bear. "Nothing," said Duck. "Nothing?" asked Bear. "Today I cleaned my house," explained Duck. "I did not bake." "Well, I have something," said Bear, and he reached into his pocket and took out 2 brownies. "Bear," said Duck, "you are spilling crumbs on my floor." And he reached for another newspaper and put it under Bear's chair. Bear looked at the newspaper. Then he looked at the 2 brownies. "Duck," he said, "you are a very good housekeeper, but what is a clean house if you have nothing to eat? Here, have a brownie." Bear and Duck each ate a brownie and spent the rest of the afternoon putting a puzzle together. The next day, Duck went to visit Bear. "Duck," said Bear, "how nice to see you. Come right in." Said Duck. "What smells so good?" "I've been baking," said Bear, and he pointed to 2 honey cakes and 2 nut pies sitting on the table. "Brush the flour off a chair and sit down." "Bear," said Duck, "I can't sit down. My feet are stuck." "Oh dear," said Bear. "That's the honey." "Would you like honey cake or nut pie?" he asked. "Nut pie," said Duck, who had finally managed to unstick his feet. "I've had enough honey for one day." "Okay," said Bear, and he cut 1 piece of nut pie for Duck and 1 for himself. "May I have a plate?" asked Duck. "The plates are dirty," said Bear. "Well then, may I have a fork?" asked Duck. "The forks are dirty too," said Bear. He looked ashamed. "Bear," said Duck, "how do you expect me to eat?" "I'm sorry," said Bear, "but today I baked. I didn't clean the house or wash the dishes. Maybe you can use your wings. The pie will still taste good." Duck and Bear each ate a piece of pie. When Duck finished, he licked the tips of his wings. "I must say, Bear, you are a terrible housekeeper, but your nut pie is the best I have ever tasted." Bear smiled. "Have another piece," he said. "Gladly," said Duck, and they each ate another piece. The next day, Bear went to Duck's house with a surprise. Duck was not at home, but Bear went inside anyway. He put 6 raspberry muffins on the table and wrote a note. "From Bear," it said. Then he went home. When Bear walked into his house, he was surprised. "I must be in the wrong house," he thought. His feet did not stick to the floor. The dishes were washed and on the shelf. He did not see his name where he had written it in the flour on the table. Instead, he saw a note, "From Duck." "I must thank Duck," thought Bear, but just then there was a knock on the door. It was Duck. "Thank you for the muffins," said Duck. "I was so surprised, and it's not even my birthday." "And I have never seen my house so clean," said Bear. "I was surprised too." "We really are good friends," said Duck. "Yes," cried Bear, "let's celebrate. Come in and have some cookies." first," added Bear. "Wipe your feet on the mat." "Of course," said Duck, and he did. Bear was very messy, but good at baking. Duck was very clean, but he wasn't really good at baking. What's one of your strengths and one of your weaknesses that you have? Although Duck and Bear had some differences, they still found a way to be supportive to one another. What's one way that you have been supportive to your friends? Are you more like Duck or are you more like Bear? Explain. Thank you so much for joining us for story time this week. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to check out our other social media networks that'll be linked in the description. I'll see you next week. Bye!